and then build upon the truth.
We have to suck it up and find ways to help them because the potential is there. These kids want to lead, they want to be in sports, they want to do something with their life.
I believe that the work that you are doing in Project Play is so important because the ideas, the support that you can provide, the network that you can help provide to communities across the country is essential.
Welcome to the Project Play Summit.
Do you think that he was a better coach than your dad?
Yeah, because my dad yells a lot.
This is where we assess the nation's state of play and leaders take next steps in building healthy communities through sport.
All of you are my family.
It's kind of nice. Hi, good morning, everybody. My name is Mary Carrillo. Welcome to the 2018. Oh, all right. I made my way up before that. All right, very good. Anyway, that's me. My name is Mary Carrillo. I am delighted to be here at the 2018 Project Play Summit. I'm with NBC Sports, and that sizzle reel there is just one way that shows you that NBC is very proud to be a part of Project Play. This is what it's all about. Taking the playbook that has been developed for so long, produced with great thought over 2 years, and contributions from more than 300 leaders, many of whom are in this room today, and finding ways to take action wherever you're able to contribute so that all the kids have the opportunity to play in this country, to be active through sport, regardless of their zip code, regardless of their ability. And this year, we are particularly excited to have so many international leaders with us to inspire us to think global, play local. I get in my own personal experience, I tell this story only because it's so true. When I was probably about 4 years old, my father threw me those, the classic red rubber ball, like the ultimate piece of sporting equipment. And I just remember we were out in the yard, he threw it to me and I caught it. And it was just one of the great experiences of my young life. Yeah, I caught it, and I threw it back. There's Donna DeVerona is in the house. This is tremendous. Good morning, Donna. Nice to see you. You know what it's like if that to me was such a clarifying moment. I knew I wanted to catch it again and throw it again and be a jock. And that is, if we can inspire young kids to know that they could use their bodies and use their minds and find such gratification at an early age and then hang on to that throughout their lives, we've got something going here. I'm absolutely thrilled that sports legend Kobe Bryant, Tony Hawk, and Jackie Joyner-Kersee are going to be here today, along with 40 other speakers and leaders, international game changers, and grassroots innovators, including a delegation of coaches from Kyrgyzstan and Uzbekistan. They're here. Hello, good morning to you. I know, this is outstanding. Also like to give a big shout out to today's sponsors, Nike, and if you're counting, this is the fourth summit that Nike's been a part of. Two-time summit sponsors, Target, Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation, the Hospital for Special Surgery. I've had a couple of knee surgeries there. They do very nice work. I recommend them highly. My own colleagues at NBC Sports Group and so many other people have made today possible. The NHL for sharing the Stanley Cup. You got to get your picture. That is the all-time great trophy. I'm trying hard to think of something cooler than the Stanley Cup. It's not coming to mind. Be sure to take your picture and share it with hashtag Project Play, and we'll retweet a bunch of those. Kevin Carroll for his generous donation of the We All Speak Ball exhibit to the summit and the Aspen Institute Sports and Society program. If you're in the room or following along via the live stream that's going on right now, be sure to engage with us on social media, on Twitter, on Facebook. It's at Aspen Inst Sports and hashtag Project Play. So that's all that stuff is going on. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Dan Porterfield, who this year became the president and CEO of the Aspen Institute. This is a win for everybody who cares about sports, because that's what Dan does. He gets sports. He grew up in Baltimore. He was a multi-sport athlete himself. He coached youth basketball teams, and later he was the interim athletic director at Georgetown University. He also served as a senior vice president and English professor for 14 years. Good God, you've been busy. Then he was a president at Franklin and Marshall College. He was a leader in Division III sports. He took steps to build an athletic culture that celebrated the educational value of sports and coaching. Going to talk a lot about coaching today. We're grateful to have him with us. Look forward to what he has to say. Please join me in welcoming Dan Porterfield to the stage. Dan?
Thank you, Mary, for that kind introduction and for your leadership in providing equity of opportunity across all sorts of sports, especially, of course, in tennis. It's exciting to be here in partnership with NBC Sports for the Aspen Institute, and of which Project Play is a major part. I'd like to thank the Aspen Institute's director for the Sport and Society program, Tom Ferry, who's here today, the leader of all of this, fantastic executive director and leader as a journalist, as a thinker, and now as an organizer and a change maker. Tom, thank you for everything that you do to make this possible today. Thank you. Yep. At the Aspen Institute, we love the mission and work of the Sport and Society program and Project Play to build healthy communities through sport by breaking down barriers to access to recreation, by developing and distributing critical information about how to build healthy sports programs and cultures, and by working at all sorts of local levels all around the country and increasingly the world to create a culture of sport, always with a mindset towards health, wellness, and citizenship. I believe that such work is essential, not only for the Aspen Institute, which is this vast people-serving force of good that has 30 different policy programs and everything from climate change to education to the future of work. This work we're doing here today is essential across all that work and for all sectors of society. It's crucial for a strong society to be good at things that parents and families need and value. That has to happen. Our institutions have to be good at the things that families need and value. For example, that means good societies, right, are excellent at promoting security and safety. The best societies are excellent at promoting education and opportunity. The best societies are excellent at promoting clean air and water and preserving the environment. And the best societies are excellent at promoting and developing a culture of sports, athleticism, and recreation in their young people. All young people, not just the children of privilege. We want all of our young people to play and be active. We also want the systems that we build to provide these opportunities sustainably. We want even more people from every zip code, from every country, from every business, and across all the supposed divides of difference to come together to create systems that structure and sustain youth involvement in sports. Participation in sports is a passport to a successful adulthood. Sports grow confidence in cross-cultural relationships. Sports cultivate the qualities of discipline, resilience, and leadership. Sports promote health, fitness, and wellness. Sports broaden horizons and give perspective. Through sport, we learn that defeat is not death, but the chance to compete again. And ultimately, we know that sports build citizenship, and that is more important for our country and our world today than ever. We must build strong citizens, and sport is a passport to that great goal. By investing in access, equity, and character formation in youth athletics, we emphasize to young people the value of their active participation in society. They're wearing their uniform when they are in the shopping mall, when they are helping a friend at school, when they are doing their chores. They are always wearing their uniform as an athlete and as a citizen in our society. And sports cultivates that sense and that pride in being an active citizen. That's good for them, and it's good for all of us. Of course, there's no single way to achieve these goals. The Aspen Institute and the Sport and Society program are committed to working with all of you to create that healthy sports culture, sustain it, and take pride in it and help our young people have ownership in it and be leaders within the sports culture that we're building. That's critical. We're committed to working with all of you. We're so proud to be here today. I'm now pleased to invite to the stage Tom Ferry, Executive Director of the Aspen Institute Sport and Society Program. Thank you for being here. Tom?
Well, thank you, Dan. It's really great to have you leading our team. Although you scared me a little bit there. I said, Dan was a basketball coach in Baltimore, and he was telling me about his affection for diving drills and taking charge drills, and be easy on us, okay? In the sports and society. Just foul shots. I don't make any. That's what Kobe's here for. Anyway, so listen, and thank you, really, thank you to every one of you for being on this team, the Project Play team, our shared effort to build healthy kids and communities through sports. This is, this is much more than a conference. The Project Play Summit is the nation's premier gathering of leaders at the intersection of youth, sports, and health, because it's the venue for change makers to take measure of the progress made in the past year, identify new challenges, explore new opportunities, announce new initiatives, and launch new tools, and take next steps in building what we call Sport for All, Play for Life communities. Indeed, Project Play isn't really the creation of the Aspen Institute. It's an organic thing. It was sparked by you. You ordered this up through your deep appreciation of the power of sports to transform lives, to build healthy and happy children who grow up to be well-adjusted adults, hopefully, with the personal traits to build communities that we want to live in. As Dan noted, sport is not some extracurricular add-on to American life. It's not a sideshow to the political and the economic questions that dominate policy discussions. This is nation building. I have a question for everyone, and we're going to have a little bit of fun here with our polling technology, which is called Slido.com. Please pull out your phone. And then enter, log on to Slido.com, okay? Slido.com, and then enter hashtag Project Play, one word. Select the 7th floor, and raise your phone when you're there. Let me know when you guys people have it queued up. Slido.com, hashtag Project Play, 7th floor, and then raise your phone when you're there. Everybody good? Okay. The question I have for you is this. Who is Luther Gulick? Luther Gulick, Dr. Luther Gulick. Is he the architect of America's highway system? Is he the architect of the assembly line? Is he the architect of public school education? Or is he the architect of Yankee Stadium? Select your answer, make your best guess. In some of the later sessions today on both floors, you will use Slido to submit questions that you have for panelists. If the panelist is on the 7th floor, for instance, you'll select the 7th floor and type in your question. You can also upvote a question you like that someone else has asked during those sessions later in the day. We'll try to select those questions that are the most popular during the sessions and ask them at the end of those. So let's see the poll results. I can't see the poll results, so I'm going to step aside. What do we have? Architect of public school education. Look at y'all. Actually, it's a trick question. It's none of those. Though you could say that Luther Gulick helped fill Yankee Stadium with the generations of sports fans that flowed from his work. Listen to this guy. He was the director of the YMCA Training Center in Springfield, Massachusetts, more than a century ago. And he, too, understood sport as a tool of nation building. He developed the mind-body-spirit triangle of the YMCA. He asked students to invent games to keep youth moving during the winter. They came up with basketball and volleyball. He was a pioneer of physical education, introducing it to schools as well as public school sports. He was the first director of the New York Schools Public School Athletic League, helping the school sports model, which is a uniquely American experiment, take hold in this country. Gulick and his peers, his coalition of peers, got 2,000 urban parks built in the first 20 years of the 20th century, making cities more livable. Immigrant boys roaming the streets now had places to go to channel their energies. Gulick and his contemporaries didn't get everything right. It took about 7 decades until Title IX to really open the door for girls. And there's still so much work to do with disadvantaged populations, including kids with disability. But there was a wireframe that was put in place, guided by a philosophy of play, the name of Gulick's seminal book. I would argue that the 20th century was the American century in no small measure because of that wireframe. The generations of children who use sport to become productive workers, managers, soldiers, citizens, teammates in the American experiment. But we also know that wireframe needs an update, as the model has changed dramatically in the past couple decades. Sport has become less accessible to the kid from the lower income home, the late bloomer, the one who just wants to play in the neighborhood with his friends or her friends. The chase for the athletic scholarship or just playing time on the high school team has effectively privatized youth sport and recreation. Now, there's some nice features to the current model, and it's important to recognize this. You know, my eldest son, Cole, played travel soccer, played club soccer, and I enjoyed the car rides with him to these, tournaments that were 3 states away and placed on some sod farm in the middle of New Jersey. He was a teenager, and it's about the only time I could get him to actually open up and talk to me. So, there's some pluses to the model. And he went on to play 3 years at an academically strong Division III college, filled with kids who wanted to do something with their lives, very motivated, a fine peer group. But I'm also acutely aware of the cost of the current model and the fact that so many kids can't even dream of the experiences that Cole received from playing sports because they were pushed out, locked out, and shut out at an early age. This is our sports system today. It's up or out. That's our model. That's how our system works. If you can't make the grade school travel team and write that check and advance through the system, then you easily can find yourself on the outside looking in. You could be in the top 10% of kids in your age in a given sport and still get weeded out, no room on the team for you. I know kids like that. I know them too well. And the heartache that comes with being told you're not good enough to play a game that you love before you've even grown into your body and your mind. It doesn't have to be this way. So this year, on the 5th anniversary of Project Play, the theme of this year's summit is Think Global, Play Local. Not because the rest of the world has all of the answers. I just told you about all the invention that's flowed through sports starting in the 1890s or so. But because one of our roles at the Aspen Institute is to pump big ideas into the bloodstream wherever they exist, to help you think in new ways about attacking great challenges and about what's possible. This has been a big year for Project Play in many ways. Among them, our Aspen Institute affiliates in Romania and Mexico have launched similar initiatives, their own versions of Project Play. We have a representative from China here, and they've been following our model and introduced a similar program there. Just last week, there was a case study published in an academic journal in Japan, analyzing our work and suggesting that the same type of process be put in place there. Now, we're honored and we're humbled by these things, but we also know there's much that we can learn from other countries and how they design and dispense sport activities for youth. This is a room full of innovators and heroes, dreamers and doers. I know many of you who have started to turn around some of the most problematic trends in the U.S. As you know, the initial focus of Project Play has been on the base of our sports system, helping stakeholders give all children in America, ages 6 to 12, the opportunity to be active through sports. And for the 3rd straight year, we've seen a drop in the percentage of kids who are sedentary, meaning no sport activity at all. Kids are also trying more sports and specializing less often. These are numbers, or KPI, or key play indicators, as we call them, that our Project Play 2020 working group is focused on. Launched last year, The Project Play 2020 is comprised of many of the most influential organizations in sports and industry. The logo soup there, am I supposed to turn it? Hey, whoops, I did wrong. There you go. Those are the members of Project Play 2020, and many of them they're really digging in. Another KPI of focus is the percentage of coaches who are trained to work with youth, which is stuck at 3 out of 10 max. So today, we fill a major gap in the landscape with the launch of an online training resource that any organization can use to ground new coaches in the basics of working with kids. The U.S. Olympic Committee and Nike co-developed the course, which is free, I underscore free, and asks just 30 minutes of a volunteer's time, about all that many have to give. Many volunteers are extremely busy. They come home, they don't have time to draw up practice plans and get it all together. And this course begins to make it a little bit easier on you. This course meets people where they're at, volunteers where they're at, with a website linking users to deeper sports-specific and other resources by trusted organizations. There's a panel where you can explore this course later today. Also this year, the NBA, working with USA Basketball, issued the first ever age-appropriate youth standards for the sport. The U.S. Tennis Association and the PGA of America aligned their youth outreach efforts with Project Play's framework of 8 strategies for the 8 sectors to get and keep kids active through sports. The New York Roadrunners announced new age minimums for its races. The Sports Facilities Advisory introduced a program to help municipalities grow access to facilities for low-income youth. Working with Aspen, ESPN, and Under Armour partnered to support the development of a digital do-it-yourself tool that anyone can use to mobilize leaders in their community to get more kids involved in sports. The whole focus of tomorrow's post-event workshop where the tool will be introduced. Please check it out when it goes live, which is tomorrow. Actually, you can see it today if you want. Teamwork Toolkit, Project Play. Another tool that we'll be exploring today is the Healthy Sport Index, which parents and even kids can use to find the best sport for them. It's the world's first resource guided by data that compares the health benefits and risks of playing the top 10 and top 10 boys and top 10 girls sports offered in high schools. It's we take very much certainly from an Aspen approach, very much an Amazon idea. The ethos of being customer first and mindful. What does that person need? How do you give it to them? This sort of inspires it. We know that parents want information to make the best decisions for their kids, and we're committed to that. And this is a really special tool that will help them get to the right place. But the thing is, you can customize this tool. It's not saying you shouldn't play this sport or you should play this sport. You can customize this tool based upon one's needs because every kid is different. Each sport profile page also includes recommendations on best practices and complementary sports. Also, original research. A key finding from the Healthy Sport Index is that kids who are playing high school team sports are now specializing around age 10. Okay, at the NCAA level, it's usually around, like in basketball, it's about 12. So just to get the playing time on a high school team, kids are feeling like they have to play only one sport at a very early age. It shows what we're up against in making the turn toward encouraging sports sampling. In fact, you'll be able to learn about the Healthy Sport Index today on our sports sampling panel. So in the spirit of Think Global, Play Local, I want you to raise your hands, okay? We're going to do a big Viking clap for all the organizations that are activating in this space. Okay, ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, there we go. Thank you. God, you guys are good. You must have played sports. You take instructions from Coach as well. Grant making. Dick's Sporting Goods and other PP 2020 members continue to pump millions into underserved teams. The Ralph C. Wilson Jr. Foundation, another member of Project Play 2020, has allocated more than $25 million in the past year alone to youth sport programs and recreation in Southeast Michigan and Western New York, guided by the insights of our State of Play reports in those regions. Ralph Wilson is the late owner of the Buffalo Bills, and his foundation now dispenses more support for youth sports than any in the country. Tomorrow would have been his 100th birthday, and I can tell you there's a very big announcement on tap. I can't give it away, but you should pay attention tomorrow at 9 a.m. It's very exciting. Policy ideas. Last month, we hosted an event at the Aspen Institute called The Future of Sports Betting. The big idea we pumped into the bloodstream that day was legalizing sports betting to fund community sports. I'm not a sports bettor. I'm not real big on it, but it is coming. So what are we going to do with it? You know, this is what they do in Norway, one of the healthiest nations in the world, and also a great producer of elite athletes. Won 39 medals, a record 39 medals at this year's Korea Olympics, which Mary was at as well. So today we have one of the architects of Norway's sports system with us to discuss their youth model and how it was transformed about 25 years ago, the key principles that were put in place. The sports and fitness industry is now, another PP 2020 member, is now looking at ways to advance this opportunity here in the U.S. Parent engagement. Thank you to Target for now, as we now have the Project Play Parent Checklist, 10 questions that parents can ask themselves, their child, and their local sport provider on how to create a good experience in sports for their kids. But much more is needed, and over the next year, I think you'll see Project Play 2020 members do more there. Today, you'll hear from Ludovic Debreu of the French Football Federation. We're so honored to have him on how that nation won this year's Men's World Cup and how they've worked with parent coaches to help them serve kids, how to figure out the base. If you talk to him, it will tell you it's essential. You know, the success you saw this summer is a direct correlation of what they figured out at the base. Joining him will be Nico Romain of the U.S. Soccer Federation, which I know sees parent engagement as a major opportunity as well. Kobe Bryant. I know that's why you're here too. You're a dad, you've seen some things, and you want to make a positive contribution. Thank you for being part of our collective effort, elevating what we're trying to do, and push it forward. Same to you, Jackie Joyner-Kersey and Tony Hawk and the rest of the incredible speakers here today, trailblazers all, who know we can do better by kids, especially our most vulnerable kids, those with disability and with few family resources. You know, kids from the lowest income homes are now half as likely to play sports as those at the upper end of the income spectrum. The gap between sport haves and have-nots has widened. When we talk about think global, play local, think of it also as a metaphor as well for what needs to happen to bridge those gaps. Take a holistic view of sport in your community and ask not just what's good for your child, but for all of his or her classmates, and then design from there. There is no silver bullet solution to this. It's more like, as we say in the collective impact world, a silver buckshot solution. Organizations and people from across the 8 sectors that touch the lives of children developing what we call mutually reinforcing actions, guided by a vision of an America in which all children have the opportunity to be active through sports, and a framework of shared, durable, simply worded strategies. So let's run through all 8 of them now, shall we? Because I know you like the Viking claps, okay? Let's do this again. We're going to do 8 of them. Ready? Here we go. A little exercise, morning exercise for you. The first one. Am I supposed to advance here? I think I am. The first one, ask kids what they want. I do some things well, I don't do other things well. Second one, reintroduce free play. Encourage sports sampling. Revitalize in-town leagues. Well, think small. Design for development. Train all coaches. And finally, emphasize prevention of injuries. Wow, you're good. Thank you. So much better than me. Thank you. So give your peers a hand for all the good work they're doing that aligns with this framework. Aspen, you know, we're just the keeper. We're just the keeper of the framework, the aggregator of ideas, the illuminator of heroes, the maker of tools, and the collector of facts, even the uncomfortable facts. You'll see them in the State of Play report that's in your packets today. You know, about where we are. But those facts lead to essential truths. So we can, as Bennett Omalu, who was here a couple of years ago, the concussion doctor, said, so we can build upon the truth. Truth and progress. Those are the core values of Project Play. That's all we want, and that's all we feel that any kid deserves. So thank you for trusting us to facilitate this shared conversation about reimagining sports to align with the needs of kids and communities in the 20th century. Our Stanley Cup, pun intended, runneth over with appreciation. I think Luther Golick would be very proud of everything that's happening in this room with all of you. So enjoy. And with that, I'd like to bring Mary back up.
All right, time for our first panel. I think you're going to like it. You know, we always call it youth sports, but it's designed by adults. And if we're really going to be honest with ourselves, it's for adults. It's the grown-ups that pick the teams, that choose the coaches, determine everything from the rules and the uniform colors to who makes which teams and play which positions. Kids entertain us, and we hope they develop in certain ways athletically and otherwise through sports. But what if, here's an idea, what if kids call the shots? What if they created experiences that met their social and their emotional needs? What would youth sports look like then? That's the question we're asking. And who better to moderate this conversation than Kobe Bryant, who's made the social and emotional lives of kids playing sports a focus of his post-NBA work. Kobe recently launched The Punies. How outstanding is that name? It's a podcast about kids playing sports, and in just a moment, we're going to play a clip where Kobe's characters share one of the activities Kobe believes athletes should embrace, meditation. But first, let's meet our outstanding panelists today. Zoe Barlow, come on up here. Zoe Barlow is a 13-year-old soccer referee from Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. Hi, Zoe. Kaolu Halt is a 13-year-old Little League World Series champion from Honolulu. Come on up. Shakira Mills is a 12-year-old Special Olympics track athlete from Detroit, Michigan. Beautiful. And Owen Norwood is an 11-year-old multi-sport athlete from Mobile, Alabama. Come on up, Owen. All right, as they take the stage, let's listen in to the Punies.
I think we can all be better players if we just take some deep breaths and work on our awareness, on being here and now.
This is hippie nonsense.
It's really not. We can all learn how to be in the moment. If you're too much in your own head to know what's going on around you, it limits your creative playmaking ability.
Whoa, where did you learn all this?
It's the first lesson in Gordon's Getaway Retreat.
That little fort in your backyard?
It's a really cool fort, okay? It has a rock garden.
Touchy, touchy.
Look, just try a breathing exercise with me.
Fine, okay.
Everyone, close your eyes. Take slow, deep breaths. Focus on the air going in and out of your bodies.
All right, how's everybody doing? How are you guys feeling?
Good.
Okay, so we have any butterflies right now? Yeah, butterflies fluttering a little bit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I noticed before we came out here and Zoe was standing back there and she kind of just took a nice deep breath. Like that, you know, the kind where you breathe into your stomach. I said, I recognize that breath. That's the breath you take when you want the wings on the butterflies to stop flapping a little bit. Yeah. All right, so let's maybe start with your favorite sports. I know most of you guys play multiple sports, right? So maybe let's go down the line and let's start with you, Zoe, your favorite sport.
I have two. I love soccer and basketball.
Okay. Well, you got to pick one. Because,
Oh gosh.
because that's what we do as parents is say, pick one. Pick one sport. Play that sport. I'm just kidding. You don't have to pick.
Oh, okay.
All right.
My favorite sport is baseball.
Baseball.
My favorite sport is running track.
Running track. Okay.
My favorite sport is basketball.
Basketball. All right. Now, what's your favorite team?
The Lakers.
Who's your favorite player?
LeBron James.
You know, there's also something to be said for children and their honesty. Right? So tell me, what is it about the sport that you guys play that makes it so enjoyable for you? Like, what got you into playing sports in the first place? How about you?
What got me into playing sports was watching sports and looking at you, LeBron, Steph Curry, and all of those players.
All right, and so when you watched us play, was that something that you felt like kind of did what, sparked your imagination? You wanted to? Yeah. Okay, all right. And how about you with track?
What got me into running track was my coaches. They made me happy. They believed that I can do it. I believe in myself. I'm an asthmatic, but I keep going. So I be watching the 3 girls that run in USA Special Olympics. I watch them run, so I think I can do it too.
Now, what are some of the things that the coaches would say to you that for you to believe that they believe in you? What are some of the things that they would say?
They'll tell me, you can do it, you can do it. And then when everybody claps, I just feel excited. I know I can do it. And then they say I hear somebody call my name, I know I can hear them when I'm running. So I just take off.
Push.
Yes.
Yeah. And how about you? What got you into playing baseball and being a pitcher? Right?
My dad got me into playing. Because my brother started playing, and then I wanted to play too, so he helped me and teach me how to pitch and how to hold grips on the ball. And that got me into playing baseball.
Now, what is it about being on a pitcher's mound that you think you enjoy the most?
Probably like all the attention is on you. And you pretty much set a tone for the game and for your team by pitching and throwing good. So you do good for the rest of the game.
Did you ever think about the responsibility that comes along with that?
Not really. I just pitch and play for my team.
Good. And Zoe, how about you?
I started playing sports because my dad was the coach, so he got me into it. And I wanted something to do in my free time, and sports I've always loved it, so that's why I did it.
One of the things we were talking about out back is the challenges of playing a sport, going to school, and then also being knowledgeable about how to operate your mobile device. You're a straight A student.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, I'm assuming everybody else here on the panel is doing great in school as well. What are your grades looking like? Straight A's?
Straight A's. Straight A's.
Not straight A's.
Okay, so I didn't have straight A's either. You talking A's and B's?
Yeah.
That's still good.
Yeah. C?
No.
All right. Let's see. All right. See, I had a C in geometry because I had to really work to pull it up. Now, let's talk a little bit about expectations. When you go out there and play, whose expectations are you finding yourself trying to live up to? Anybody can jump on that.
My parents.
Your parents? How so? Talk to me a little bit more about that.
Can you say the question again?
Like, when you play, you have expectations that you want to live up to. Right? Whose expectations are you trying to live up to?
I say my parents because they really strive me to play sports, and I really want to make them proud.
And how do you feel you do that? When you go out there and you perform well, does it matter whether you win or you lose?
Yeah, it kind of does, but also I just have fun.
Yeah, but I mean for you, not for your parents. You know your parents are gonna love you no matter what, right? I mean, that, you know, it's hard. I mean, that's hard sometimes to understand. It's like, I have to win this game, or my mom is just gonna just like, no, we're gonna love you no matter what, right? But like for you and how you feel, do you feel like whether you win or whether you lose, you have a, you know, I really let my mom down in a situation. Is that something that you guys struggle with a little bit? No,
much.
You're good.
I'm good.
Okay. Everybody else?
Maybe sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. If you've been working on the pitch with your pops, you've been working on that changeup because he said his curveball is nasty. You say I got to work on my changeup, right?
Yeah.
And so if you get out there, you've been working on your changeup, and all of a sudden you throw your changeup, but that changeup is not placed where you want it to be placed, and all of a sudden it's a home run out the park. What's the first thing you think of?
The first thing I think of run track is my mom, my coaches, my friends, because they the one that told me, I hope we win. I want you to win. I want to go. I don't want silver, none of that. But, and I just think about my mom. She want me to win. She want me to bring home gold medals and stuff. So when some kids say to me when they race me, I'm gonna beat you, I'm gonna beat you. And then I just ignore it. And then when we start racing, he shoots the gun, I just take off and I win.
So when's the last time you won silver?
When I was in snowshoeing.
Okay. And then how did you feel when you won silver? Were you excited? Were you upset? I mean, what was it?
I was upset because I don't want no silver.
What did you do with that silver medal?
I put it on my grandma's picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And what about you? You could throw your change up, it's over the plate, you take a yard. Now what?
I just feel like I let my team down and my parents down because they've been teaching me all this time, and then I just gave up a home run.
How do you block that out, right? Because I'm assuming when you start, you have those expectations within you, right? That pressure within you. But when you go out and perform, as you guys know, it can't have a home there when you're playing, right? So how do you block that out? How do you quiet that noise and go out and just play?
I just have fun with my team and just play the game that I love.
How about you, Zoe?
I try to focus on what I'm doing, and I try to think ahead, like when I get the ball, what I'm gonna do next, and that just kind of zones it out for me.
And you have a brother, right?
Yes.
You and your brother compete all the time.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Who's a better shooter?
Oh, well, me, obviously.
Who's a better student?
Me.
It's not a competitive family at all. Competitive. Now, what about dreams? Like, where do you see yourself? Right? What is your ultimate dream? If you sit here right now and say, Kobe, you know, in 15 years, this is where I want to be. This is what I'm doing. What is it?
NBA.
NBA. All right. You're playing for the Lakers. Of course. Could be anything.
I want to be a beautician.
Okay. All right.
I want to go to college and play in the pros.
Okay.
I want to be a doctor.
You're a doctor. All right. Now, what important values do you think you're learning from playing sports that'll help you achieve these dreams? What are some of the things that you're learning?
Working with others, with your friends, and also learning valuable skills by maybe eating healthy.
Okay. What about you guys? What are some of the valuable things that you guys are learning from the sports that you guys are playing?
Probably the same thing.
Now, what do you guys do after you've had a tough loss, right? A tough loss. What do you do?
I will get back up and keep going.
Get back up and keep going. And Zoe, how about you?
I think about what I could have done better, and then I realize that I can't go back and change it, so I just focus on what's next.
Focus on what's next. It's a great way to live, actually. And I know you were doing some homework before your World Series match, right? I mean, you were studying the batters.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to talk a little bit about that? How your coach prepared you for that?
Oh yeah, our coach told us to to study the batters on the team, to see what they like to do, like how they like to hit and how to pitch towards them. So we studied that like that night or the night before, and we see how like what they hit and what they don't hit.
You felt that made a big difference for you, right?
Yeah.
Right. It's funny because I coach my daughter's basketball team, and when I first started coaching, what a lot of people said is don't give them high-level information because they're just kids. You can't process that high-level information. And I think we vehemently disagree with that, right? You want to be able to have the high-level information so you can process it at an early age and improve much faster, right? Because you're learning that information at an earlier age, right? Now, let's talk about injuries. Have you guys dealt with injuries? Yeah.
When I was snowshoeing, and it was really cold that day when it was snowing. And I remember my coach, she had tightened my little snowshoes up on my feet because it was hard because the ice was getting stuck in it. And then when it was our turn, it was all girls, got around all the way around. And then I took off, and then that's when my snowshoe and my shoe came off with the snowshoe. And then my sock came off with it. I was like, oh my God. And I just kept trying to, and I was trying to run one. I tried to hop and run on one foot. And then the man was like, you forgot your shoe, you forgot your shoe. And I was like, I'm gonna keep going, forget it.
Determined. How about you? You dealt with injuries yet?
No, sir,
No?
I haven't. It's probably because I wear the proper equipment.
Nikes, no doubt. Contracts in the mail. And what about pitching? I mean, throwing a curve takes a toll on shoulders, right?
Yeah. I mean, I think when I was 10, I hurt my elbow because I think I threw a curve and then it was sore, so I had to go to the doctor. And I couldn't throw for a couple of weeks. And then after that, I hurt my wrist because I slipped and then I landed on my hand. And then my wrist, I don't know what happened, but we didn't go to the doctors. We just let it go, and then I could pitch like a month later.
Okay, what did you do? When you had those 2 weeks off, how did you feel those weeks? Because I imagine you're used to pitching and playing every day, right?
It was kind of boring because you couldn't do anything at practice. You could just sit there and you couldn't throw, you couldn't practice with your team.
Yeah. How about you? Have you had injuries?
I had a broken ankle and a concussion before my state tournament.
Oi.
Yeah.
Man, all right. That's unfortunate. So what happened?
I had to sit on the sidelines and watch my team play without me.
Did you guys win?
No, we didn't. I know.
So then what do you say to yourself, right? So like on the ride home after that, are you sad? Are you motivated? What's going on?
I'm motivated. I'm motivated that I want to get better as soon as I can so I can help my team get to state again or wherever we're going.
Yeah. And when the injury happened, when you broke your ankle, first of all, how did you break your ankle?
I was playing soccer and we were playing a boys team and I got sandwiched. So one was on this side of me and the other was on this side, and they just kind of went in and collided, and that's how I broke my ankle.
Did you know it as soon as you did it?
I did not know it. I went probably 2 weeks and I felt pain on it, but I didn't think anything of it. And that's when we went to the doctor, and they said it was broken.
And then when you got the news, then what?
It was actually during my tournament season, so I didn't get to play my tournaments for soccer either. So I didn't get to go to a lot either because they were out of town. But I just got to hear about my team and how they did, and that I wasn't there. And that
How's your ankle feel now?
Say that again?
How's your ankle feel now?
It feels great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right. Now, I'm going to ask you guys a somewhat of a weird question. All right? But bear with me. If there was something, barring an injury, right? So we're going to exclude the injury. If there was something that could get you to retire from playing sports right now, what would it be?
Like what sports?
Whatever sport you choose. If you're not going to play sport anymore, I'm done.
I really don't want to pick one, but I pick snowshoeing.
Snowshoeing, you say, I'm not going to do the snowshoeing thing. My shoe came out one time, I'm done.
Because it's snowing, it's ice, and it's cold.
Yeah. So the cold will say, you know what, I'm done. I'm retiring from this thing. I'm not doing it. I don't blame you. What about you?
Baseball, because of my grades. If my grades are really low. If my grades are really low.
So if your grades are low, you would retire. It seems like your mom would force you to retire if your grades were low. Yeah? Zoe, how about you?
I'd quit volleyball.
Yeah, you quit volleyball, and then why?
I just don't love it as much as I love the other sports.
So your favorite sport is basketball?
And soccer.
Try it. So what could get you to retire or force you to retire from playing soccer or basketball?
I don't know. Not a lot of things make me tired of those two sports.
Yeah, it's a complicated question. How about you? Baseball?
What can make me retire?
Yes.
Nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, that's the same answer I probably would have given. All right, and so as you guys move on from here, my advice to you is remember that there's no secret formula. There's no magic wand, right? If you want to get better, the more you do it, the better you get, right? And there'll be a lot of things, a lot of obstacles, be it injury or teammates or bad coaches. And fortunately for you guys, it sounds like you guys have all had great coaching experiences. The same cannot be said for a lot of children, which is why we're here. But to keep on going, put one foot in front of the other and work every single day and not get discouraged. When I was 13, I had dreams of playing in the NBA, right? I'm gonna do this thing, I'm gonna do it. I fractured my kneecap. And I was in a cast from here all the way up to my hip. And that was at the time when AAU season was happening. So I had to miss that whole AAU season. So I was out for 3 months with a cast from my ankle to my hip. And you don't let it get you down. You just keep on going. So thank you guys for sitting up here. Thank you guys for sharing in this moment with us. It's all about you guys. And so thank you and best of luck to you. Yeah?
Well done. Well done, kids.
Thank you.
Nice to hear you. Nice. All right, well done. That was great. I just keep thinking of what it must be like for parents to walk into a gym and Kobe Bryant is coaching against them. That is incredibly unfair. Like, can you? I have to tell a quick basketball story. Best friends of mine, Howie and Rachel Gutman. Howie was this very strict coach, and he was coaching little Michael Gutman, and after that, little Lori Gutman, and he was very serious. And when he would be coaching Michael Gutman's team, he'd be yelling at them because no one's playing defense, and he'd make them run laps around the gym. And the boys resented it, and all the boys would say to Michael Gutman, "I hate your father." And then the same thing he would do to make Lori Gutman's team run around because they weren't playing any defense, and they'd be crying around the gym saying, "Your father hates us." Very different, it's a very different emotional situation. And just listening to those kids with Kobe, what you tell your kids as parents or as coaches resonates so deeply. The idea that they were trying to live up to their coaches, their parents, their friends. It makes you realize how carefully you have to measure your words with kids. Well, with grown-ups too. Anyway, we'll keep kids in mind all day long, won't we? And we just want to let you know what's ahead. There's a whole bunch of great panels, conversations, and announcements ahead for you. The first announcement is a perfect continuation of the panel we just heard. Project Play is proud to share that the Susan Crown Exchange is supporting a partnership with the Aspen Institute's National Commission on Social, Emotional, and Academic Development to identify best practices for coaches in fostering social and emotional learning through sports. Last month, there was a roundtable of 24 leaders from academia and sports. They convened to share knowledge and respond to the findings of Harvard University's EASL Lab, which aggregated evidence on what works. In 2019, Aspen will publish the results. It's a groundbreaking document that coaches and other stakeholders can use to help youth get the most out of sports. And for this commitment, the Susan Crown Exchange is being recognized as Project Play Champion. A new designation is for select organizations that make new, meaningful, specific commitments that align with the framework of Project Play. Congratulations to the Susan Crown Exchange on becoming a Project Play Champion. That's very cool. Yeah. In just a moment, we're going to break out for our first set of strategy sessions. There's a lot going on here at the Knight Conference Center. For those of you joining us in person and for those of you who can't, our team is streaming parts of the day using social media to bring the conversation to the online communities following along. Helping us with that are some social media ambassadors. I think some of them are in the room. If you can stand, that would be great. Some ambassadors. All right. They're going to be elevating the conversations that all kids have the opportunity to be active through sport. And all of you can help us share that message too at hashtag Project Play and at Aspen Inst Sports. Throughout the day, you're going to get to choose what topics you want to explore, and there's a lot. Panels are tied to each of Project Play's 8 strategies as each narrows in on one emerging opportunity. Plus, there's going to be a few other topics, including a session in a new international-inspired format and the role of parents as decision and as change makers. So check your cardstock agenda for timing, for topics, and for the rooms. For full session descriptions about all sessions, you can go to the online agenda at as.pn/pplive. And after select panels, you'll have the opportunity to join the panelists and the moderator and other attendees at continuing conversation sessions. You can see your agenda for those opportunities as well. And then midday, we'll come back together for our midday plenary session with leaders from football, what we call soccer, and a one-on-one conversation with Kobe Bryant on the meaning of play. And then later, we'll be led in a physical activity break by Steve Boyle and get to hear from Manhattan DA Cyrus Vance Jr. This is cool, on how his office has repurposed money from drug offenses to support youth sports. Love that idea. We'll learn the art of multi-sport success from arguably, I'm not going to argue too hard, the greatest athlete of the 20th century. Jackie Joyner-Kersee is going to be in the house, and she's going to be focusing on landing with impact. We're going to also have a tremendous conversation. Well, this is with Tony Hawk, the skateboard legend. He'll be here to talk to us about that and all manner of things. And throughout the day, we'll be joined by more organizations that, like the Susan Crown Exchange, are in the inaugural class of Project Play Champions. Those are the organizations making commitments that are new, that are meaningful, that are specific and aligned with Project Play's 8 plays. And Project Play has a whole bunch of exciting announcements coming your way. Important stuff. And it's only about 9:30. So it's quite a morning. Thanks to everyone, our kid panelists, and Kobe. This was a nice start to the day, wasn't it? My teammates at NBC, for the highlight reel, and other summit sponsors. Again, we thank Target. We thank Nike, Ralph C. Wilson, Junior Foundation. There's more people to thank. The Hospital for Special Surgery, and if you're live streaming, be sure to join us back here at 11:10 Eastern Time for a featured conversation on soccer in the U.S. And that's clearly, there's a lot to talk about there. And that after that, we'll have the one-on-one with Kobe Bryant. Everyone else will be back together at that time, too. That's right here. That's at 11:10. In the meantime, if you have any questions, find a member of the Aspen Institute staff. They're wearing the red lanyards. There's a bunch of them around. And with that, enjoy your morning sessions. God, it sounds like there's some great stuff going on. Look at your agenda and the screens around the museum for what's next. Stop by the Stanley Cup. Take your photo there. And please keep tweeting at Aspen in Sports and hashtag Project Play. All right, see you later. Sure.